I am Hugin. Thought. Yours specifically. The only part of your mind Odin left you. Your memory waits across this island. My brother Munin. Reach the frozen passage before the blood moon peaks, or remain nothing. One problem. Fenrir's child guards the passage. Tonight it hunts the whole island. Can you outrun a god's wolf?
Your legs obey, but stiffly. Knees lock, you rise to a crouch, then stand, swaying as the ground seems to tilt beneath you. The wind hits you like a blow. Your tunic and trousers cling to your skin, heavy with freezing seawater. Every breath drags cold air into lungs that burn. Around you, the shore is a graveyard of splintered wood and pale bodies. The Drakar's ribs jut from the water like the bones of a leviathan. Further up the rocky slope, a smear of red stains the gray stone, leading to a shape that does not move. To the north, the land rises to higher cliffs. South, the shore curves toward what might be a beach. East, a dark forest presses close, its trees bare and black against the sky. The sun hangs low and pale, noon, but weak.
Cold? Good. It means the blood still moves. Look around you, survivor. The dead have no use for what they carried.
The raven hops closer, tilting its head. Its obsidian eye reflects your shivering form.
You can freeze here, mourning men who are already feasting in Valhalla. Or you can move. The choice is yours, thoughtless one.
You force your legs to move. Each step is a battle. Wet wool drags at your skin, salt stings your eyes, and the wind cuts through you like a blade. Your boots crunch on frost-slick stones. The cold is a living weight in your joints, slowing you. But you are moving. That is something. The shore stretches out around you. To the north, the land climbs toward high cliffs that bite into the sky. South, the rocky slope gentles, leading toward what might be a beach. East, a wall of dark pine and birch looms, the forest floor deep in shadow despite the noon sun.
3 paths, 3 chances to die. The north climbs high, good for seeing, bad for hiding. The south offers open ground and maybe food. The east, the forest is dark, survivor. Things live there that don't like the light.
The rocky slope levels beneath your boots, giving way to sand packed hard by the tide. The wind here feels different. Less a knife, more a heavy, damp weight that presses the air from your lungs. Before you stretches a wide arc of shoreline, gray under the afternoon sky. Tidal pools gleam like dark mirrors among the rocks, teeming with skittering shapes. Driftwood lies scattered in heaps, bleached and bone white. The ocean surges and retreats with a rhythmic hiss, the scent of salt and rot thick in your nose. 50 paces down the shore, a larger piece of wreckage juts from the sand, a broken hull plank. Half buried beneath it lies a man, motionless. His skin is waxen, his lips blue. He does not shiver. The sea laps at his boots.
Another one. He looks cold enough to crack. The dead don't feel the chill, but he's not dead yet. Not quite.
You crouch beside the man, the wet sand soaking your knees. His skin is pale as fish belly, lips tinged blue. You press 2 fingers to his throat, cold. For a long moment, nothing. Then, faint and slow, a pulse thuds against your skin. Once, twice. Pause. Again. His chest barely rises. He is alive, but only just. The sea has taken his warmth, and without it, he will not last the hour.
A flicker. Barely a candle in a storm. You know what he needs. Fire. Warmth. Or you can let the tide take him. One less mouth to feed, if you care only for your own skin.
The raven watches from a piece of driftwood, feathers unruffled by the wind. The man stirs slightly, a low groan escaping him, but his eyes remain closed. You scramble among the driftwood heaps, fingers numb, and pull loose dry bleached planks from the bottom of the pile. Near the broken hull plank, you find a small leather pouch snagged on a splinter. Inside, a flint and steel, still dry. You pile the wood in a sheltered hollow between 2 rocks, shielding it from the wind. The first strike showers sparks but catches nothing. The second, a third, finally. A tongue of orange licks at the dried seaweed tinder. You blow gently, and the fire takes hold, crackling as it begins to consume the driftwood. Heat radiates outward, a small circle of life in the gray cold. You kneel beside the dying man, moving him closer to the flames. His skin is like ice. You search him quickly, hands patting down his salt-stained wool and leather. A sea axe knife at his belt, a small pouch of dried fish, and a silver arm ring, twisted in the Norse style, bearing the mark of a jarl you do not recognize. No name carved, but the face. Something tugs at your empty memory. You know this man.
Leif, the scout. Jarl Thorfinn's eyes. You remember him, even if you don't remember your own mother. Fire brings them back. Sometimes.
Your hands move quickly, stripping the scout of what little value remains to the dead. The sea axe knife slides free from its sheath. Good iron, the edge still keen. The pouch of dried fish is light, but food is food. Finally, the silver arm ring. It twists loose with a tug, the metal biting cold against your palm. You pocket it all. The fire crackles beside you, sending up a thin line of smoke that the wind immediately tears apart. Leif lies closer to the flames now, his face turned toward the heat. A flush begins to return to his waxen cheeks. His eyelids flutter.
Practical. The dead have no need of iron or silver. But look, the fire is doing its work. He's fighting his way back.
Cold. So cold. Odd? Is that you?
Leif's eyes open, wide and unfocused, before locking onto yours. Recognition dawns slowly, chased away by a shiver that racks his whole body.
The Drakkar. It broke. I remember the waves. I thought I was dead.
You look down at the man, your face a mask of indifference, despite the warmth of the fire at your back. The name Odd means nothing to you, a sound without a shape, a ghost in an empty skull.
Who are you? And how do you know that name? What? It's me. Leif. We raided Northumbria together. We stood shoulder to shoulder at the Thing. Don't you remember? The storm... Did it take your wits too?
Oh, this is rich. The scout thinks you're playing games. Let him wander. It's safer than the truth.
By Thor's beard on! You're scaring me! We served Jarl Thorfinn! We were coming home! If you don't know me, then who are we?
Leif stares at you, his brow furrowing deep as he tries to make sense of your words. The firelight dances in his eyes, but the recognition that was there a moment ago is replaced by a wary concern. He glances at the fire, then back at you, as if checking if the heat has addled your wits.
Thor, King, Odd, the cold has taken your mind. You speak like a man in a fever dream. I am no king, and you are a raider of Thorfinn's Hall. Or you were.
Mighty Thor! Oh, this is rich. The god of thunder shivering on a beach with a stolen knife. Do you hear the thunder, survivor? Or just the waves breaking?
We need to get you warm. Truly warm. If your wits are gone, we are both dead men.
Leif shifts closer to the fire, pulling his knees to his chest. He watches you with a mixture of pity and fear, clearly unsure if he can rely on you in this state.
Mighty Thor, if you say so, my lord. Just don't strike me with lightning, all right?
Thor! On a beach of wet driftwood. The Allfather must be weeping. Or laughing. Hard to tell with him.
Leif shifts uncomfortably, eyeing you as if you might suddenly summon a storm. He pulls his wool tighter around himself, though the fire is finally taking the edge off the chill.
Lord Thor, or whoever you are, we need to eat. That dried fish in your pouch. It's not much, but it's something. May I?
Leif stares at you, his eyes wide and uncertain. The firelight casts flickering shadows across his face, emphasizing the hollows of his hunger. He glances at the pouch in your hand, then back to your eyes, weighing his pride against the gnawing emptiness in his belly.
Please, please, please.
His voice is barely a whisper, carried away by the wind before it can reach anyone but you. He does not look at you as he speaks, his head bowed, eyes fixed on the sand. A Viking warrior, brought low by shipwreck and cold, begging for scraps.
A Jarl's scout, begging on his knees. The Allfather must be delighted with this comedy.
You toss him a piece of the dried fish. He catches it reflexively, his fingers closing around the tough, salted meat with desperate speed. He eats quickly, barely chewing, the food disappearing as if by magic. Color returns to his face a little more with every bite.
Thank you, my lord. It helps.
You clear your throat, the sound sharp against the endless crashing of waves. Lef looks up, wary, expecting orders or madness. Instead, you grin, a strange expression on a face that has known only shock and cold since waking.
Why did the Viking bring his ladder to the raid? Because he heard the loot was on the top shelf.
Silence stretches for a heartbeat, and a snort escapes Leaf, followed by a wet, hacking cough that sounds almost like a laugh.
By the gods, that was terrible. Truly terrible. Here is another one. Why do we fight with axes? Because you can't pick your nose with a sword.
Leaf stares at you for a moment, eyes wide, then buries his face in his hands. His shoulders shake. When he looks up, there are actual tears in his eyes. Not from grief, but from the sheer, ridiculous force of the laughter spilling out of him.
Thor's hammer? You've lost your mind, Odd. Truly gone to Valhalla already.
I weep for the future of poetry. Though the dead in hell are likely laughing too. At you, not with you.
The laughter dies down, leaving both of you breathing a little easier. The fire crackles, popping as a pocket of sap explodes. The warmth feels real now, not just a promise.
Thank you. I needed that. What do we do now, my Lord Thor? Do we stay here, or move?
You lean back against the driftwood, the fire's warmth finally soaking into your bones, and gesture at Leaf.
Your turn, Scout. Let's hear if a Jarl's man can outjoke the mighty Thor. Jokes? I don't know any. My head is still full of seawater. There was a thrall in Thorfinn's hall. Once he dropped a roast boar in the latrine. The Jarl made him fish it out. With his teeth. That's not really a joke, is it? Just hunger.
Leaf falls silent, staring into the flames. You let the quiet stretch for a moment, then nod toward the raven perched on a nearby rock, preening a wing with impossible precision.
Not bad, but I'm still hungry. How about we eat that bird? He looks plump enough.
Leaf follows your gaze, his eyes scanning the empty rock where Hugin sits. He squints, then looks back at you, his expression shifting from confusion to genuine alarm.
Eat! What? There is nothing there, my lord. Only rock and sea.
Eat me? I'd give you indigestion that would last until Ragnarok. Though watching you try to catch me would be entertaining.
Odd. Please. The cold has addled your wits. There is no bird.
Leaf shifts closer to the fire, as if putting distance between himself and your madness. Hugin ruffles his feathers, looking entirely unbothered by the menu suggestion.
He can't see me, survivor. To him, you're drooling over a rock. A fine figure of a god you make.
The fire pops, sending a shower of sparks upward. The afternoon light is beginning to fade, the sun sinking lower toward the horizon. The wind picks up, carrying the salt spray further up the beach. Leif stares at you, the firelight dancing in his eyes, but the warmth there is replaced by a deepening confusion. He opens his mouth, closes it, then tries again.
Odd? You are Odd, son of Ivar. The raid on Lindisfarne. You took the first cross from the altar. Don't you remember the gold? The singing?
He watches you closely, searching your face for a flicker of recognition. Finding none, he looks away, toward the darkening water.
If the name is gone, then the man is gone. But I still owe you my life.
You ignore his concern and stand up, turning toward the ocean. The waves roll in, gray and capped with white, looking deceptively calm from the shore. The wind cuts through your wet tunic as you step toward the waterline.
Enough talk. The sea looks inviting. How about a swim? Swim? No! The cold will kill you in minutes!
A swim? In this? The ocean is not a bath, survivor. It is a mouth, and it is always hungry.
Leif scrambles to his feet, reaching out a hand to stop you, but you are already moving. The first wave laps at your boots, shocking cold against your skin. You take another step, the water rising to your calves, then your knees. The cold is immediate and absolute, a physical blow that steals the breath from your lungs. Your legs go numb instantly. Another wave surges around your waist, dragging at your clothes, threatening to pull you under. The current is stronger than it looked, tugging at your legs with icy fingers.
The cold tries to claim you, a crushing weight that seeks to stop your heart and still your breath. You fight it, every stroke a battle against the gray void.
Your limbs are leaden, your thoughts scattering like smoke in the wind, but something drives you forward. Rage, madness, or simply the stubborn refusal to die. You break the surface, gasping, and drag yourself from the water's grip. Your hands scrabble at the sand, finding purchase, and you haul your shivering body onto the shore.
Thor's blood! Get back here!
Leif is there before you can stand, grabbing your arm and hauling you toward the fire. His hands are shaking almost as badly as yours. He throws more driftwood onto the flames, building the heat until it's almost painful.
You're frozen solid. Sit. Don't speak. Just warm.
A refreshing dip. You must be part fish, or part fool. The line is thin.
The fire roars, but the warmth takes a long time to reach your core. Your teeth chatter uncontrollably, your skin pale and waxy. The sun is dipping lower now, the shadows stretching long across the sand. The afternoon is fading.
The light dies, survivor. And the cold, it only gets hungrier.
You force your stiff fingers to work, piling more driftwood onto the fire. The flames lick higher, driving back the shadows, but the shivering in your bones refuses to stop.
Let me. You're in no state to hold an axe, let alone strike flint.
Leif takes the flint and steel from your numb hands. His movements are sure, practiced. Sparks fly, catching on dry tinder, and the fire roars to life, a beast of heat and light.
There. That will hold for a while. Now, food. You need strength.
You turn your attention to the tidal pools nearby. The water is clear, revealing movement beneath the surface. Crabs scuttling over rocks, shellfish clinging to the stones. Your vision swims slightly as you crouch, the cold still clinging to your limbs.
Hunting with the shakes of a leaf, bold or stupid. The line is thin.
You reach into the freezing water, your hands clumsy and slow. A crab skitters away, but you spot a cluster of shellfish wedged between two rocks. You lunge for them, your grip unsure. Your numb fingers close around the shellfish, a desperate grip that refuses to let go. You haul them from the water, dripping and cold, and toss them onto the sand beside you. A crab tries to scuttle away, but you pin it with a clumsy hand, seizing it before it can escape. The hunt is messy and ungraceful, but the pile grows. Shellfish, crabs, even a handful of edible seaweed. It is enough.
Good catch. Better than I expected from a man shivering like a leaf in a storm.
Leif kneels beside you, inspecting the catch. He nods approvingly, though his eyes still hold a wary edge, watching you as if you might bolt into the waves again.
We need to cook these. Raw shellfish will make you sick, and in your state, sickness is death. I'll build the fire up.
He arranges the driftwood, stacking it with the care of a man who has spent many cold nights on raiding campaigns. The flint strikes, sparks fly, and the fire catches, roaring to life with a hungry crackle. You huddle close, the heat beginning to penetrate the chill in your bones as you wait for the stones to grow hot enough to cook the meal.
A feast fit for a king or a drowned rat. The distinction is often lost on the hungry.
The fire crackles, sending sparks up toward the darkening sky. Leif tends the roasting shellfish, turning them carefully with a stick, but his eyes keep darting back to you, wary and unsettled.
Tell me again, who are you? And who is this Odd you keep naming? I am Leif, scout to Jarl Thorfinn. And Odd is you, the man who pulled me from the waves. The man I sailed with. The man standing right there asking questions he already knows the answers to. And where is Odin? If I am Thor, where is my father?
Leif drops the stick, staring at you as if you've grown a second head. He looks around the empty beach, the gray waves, the darkening forest, then back to the fire.
Odin is in Asgard, where he always is. We are on Ulfsi, Survivor. Cold, wet, and very far from Asgard.
Looking for the Allfather? Check the highest peak, or the bottom of a mead horn. He is watching, make no mistake, but he does not come down to warm your toes by the fire.
Leaf shakes his head slowly, poking the shellfish again. The smell of cooking seafood begins to fill the air, rich and salty.
Eat. The food is ready. Maybe a full belly will help you remember. Or at least stop asking questions that make the hair on my neck stand up.
Leaf stares at you for a long moment, the firelight flickering across his weathered face. He looks at the cooked shellfish, then back at you, weighing his hunger against his fear of your madness.
Plano plays games. The mighty Thor. Your name is Plano Plays Games.
He says it flatly, without conviction, then hands you a roasted crab. The shell is hot, burning your fingertips slightly, but the warmth is welcome.
As for Asgard, that is a long journey, my lord. Further than any ship can sail. We need to rest, eat, warm your blood. If we march now, you'll fall before we clear the dunes.
Asgard. Yes. Just climb that cloud there. Or wait for the Rainbow Bridge. I'm sure Bifrost stops here on Tuesdays.
You grin at Leaf's confusion, letting the joke hang in the cold air for a heartbeat before dropping it.
Raven just said, Bifrost stops here, so let's wait. Nah, just kidding. Let's rest and see if we can find Leif and some food. Leif is right here, and the food is in your hand. You are a strange man, Plano Plays Games.
Leaf shakes his head, a faint, weary smile touching his lips. He hands you a roasted crab, the shell steaming in the chill air. You crack it open, the meat inside hot and savory. It tastes like life itself.
Eat! We have a long road ahead, and the night will not wait for us to finish our meal.
Bifrost. The Rainbow Bridge. If only. You could walk right into Valhalla and demand a horn of mead. I wonder if they serve crab in the Hall of the Slain.
You crack the crab and eat, the hot meat soothing your hollow stomach. Leaf eats beside you, both of you silent in the fire's glow. The warmth seeps into your bones, driving back the shivering that has plagued you since the wreck. You lean back against the driftwood, eyes heavy, and let the fire do its work.
That helps. The fire, it makes the world feel real again.
Time passes. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose. The shadows lengthen, stretching across the sand like fingers reaching for the sea. The wind dies down for a moment, a deceptive calm, before the evening chill sets in.
Golden hour. The time of dying light. Beautiful, isn't it? Like blood on snow.
You feel stronger now, the food and rest restoring some of your strength. But your clothes are still damp, clinging to your skin, and the air is growing colder as the sun sinks. You strip off the heavy, waterlogged wool and leather, spreading them over the driftwood racks near the flames. The heat hisses against the damp fabric, sending up clouds of steam that smell of salt and old sweat. You stand naked in the firelight, the warmth pricking at your skin as the blood begins to flow properly again.
Turn them. The sleeves dry slowest. We've all done this. 100 nights on cold ground.
Leaf helps you tend the clothes, turning the garments with a stick so the heat reaches every fold. The fire crackles loudly, the only sound on the darkening beach. The sun is dipped below the horizon now, leaving a band of deep purple and bruised orange in the west. The air grows colder, biting at any exposed skin, but the fire holds it at bay.
The day bleeds out. Golden hour is done. Soon comes the dark. The time when the teeth come out.
Eventually, your clothes are dry, stiff, and smelling of wood smoke, but dry. You pull them back on, the fabric rough against your warm skin. The shivering is gone, replaced by a steady strength. You feel ready to move. You stare at your hands, then at Leaf, the words tumbling out before you can stop them. The fire crackles, filling the silence that follows.
Why does it say status warm, no name, no memory? What does that mean? Status? I don't know what you mean. But you are warm now, that is true. And as for your name, you said you are Plano Plays Games. If that is what you wish to be called, then that is who you are.
Status. A word for merchants and scribes. You are alive. That is the only status that matters on this rock. Though confused would fit you well too.
The memory, the storm took much from us all. It may return, or it may not. But we cannot stay here debating it. The sun is gone.
You pace around the fire, your energy restored and burning for action. The beach feels too small, the open sky too vast and empty. You want to move, to strike out, to do anything but stand still.
So what do we do now? Let's go! Why are we standing here? If you think we should not go, then tell me what you know of this odd-farted character. Odd. Not odd. Odd. Son of Ivar. A raider of Thorfinn's Hall. He was a good man. Quick with a laugh, quicker with an axe! He stood beside me when the waves took the Drakkar. He pulled me from the water. If you are not him, then you wear his face and carry his strength. But the eyes are different.
A mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in wet wool. Does it matter who you were? It matters who you are now. And right now, you are a man itching to walk into a wolf's den.
We can go. But we must choose. North leads to the high cliffs. A hard climb, but you can see far from there. East leads into the forest. Dark, thick. Things live there that don't like the light. Which way, my lord? The sun is dying, and the night does not forgive the lost.
You leave the fire and the beach behind, climbing the path that leads north. The ascent is steady, the rocky ground firm under your boots.
As you crest the rise, the landscape opens up before you, bathed in the deep amber glow of the golden hour. To the west, the sea stretches out, dark and churning. Below, the broken skeleton of a Drakkar lies
Smashed against the rocks, its timbers splintered like dry bones. Bodies litter the shore, pale shapes washed up by the storm. Further up the slope, a trail of dried blood leads toward a dark stain on the rocks.
North, of course. Let's go! We can talk as we walk. Tell me, Leaf, which movies have you watched recently? Movais? I do not know this word. Is it a sickness of the mind? You speak in riddles, my lord.
Moving pictures. Stories trapped in a box of light. A fine thing to ask a man who thinks a candle is high magic.
Look there. The ship. And the dead. Thorfinn's Drakkar. Broken.
Leaf points toward the wreckage, his voice heavy. The wind picks up, carrying the scent of salt and something rotting. The golden light casts long shadows from the broken masts, making them look like the ribs of a vast beast.
A fine view. You can see the whole coast from here. And the blood trail... someone didn't make it far.
Leaf stops, looking at you with a mix of pity and confusion. He gestures vaguely at the broken ship below.
Thorfinn, he is our Jarl. The man we sailed for. The man whose gold we sought in Northumbria. If you are Thor, then Thorfinn is... Well, he is a man who pays us to kill for him. Not a god.
A Jarl compared to a god. The insult will not go unnoticed. Though in this cold, a Jarl's hall is warmer than a cloud.
You ignore the raven and lead the way down the rocky slope toward the shattered Drakkar. The smell of rot and salt grows stronger as you approach. The great ship lies broken against the black rocks, its dragon-head prow splintered, its hull ripped open by the storm. Bodies lie scattered in the surf and on the rocks, pale and unmoving. The tide laps at them, greedy and slow. Leif follows, his face grim. He steps over a fallen mast, his eyes scanning the wreckage.
She was a fine ship. The Sea Serpent. Now she's just driftwood and ghosts. Look there, in the debris. Something useful might have survived.
You pick your way through the tangled timbers. The ship is a graveyard of splintered wood and torn sail. But amidst the destruction, you spot items that might yet serve the living.
Loot the dead before they are cold. A very Viking virtue. Or is it just practicality?
Further up the shore, beyond the immediate wreckage, you notice a trail of dry blood leading up the rocks to a motionless shape. The wind carries the scent of carnage from that direction. Leif stares at you, brow furrowed at the strange words, but understands the intent. He nods grimly and moves toward the shattered hull, stepping over splintered planks and tangled rigging.
Loot boxes? You mean chests or hidden caches? Oh look, the dead carry nothing but water now. But the ship, she might have secrets.
He sifts through the debris, his hands moving with practiced efficiency. You join him, prying open a waterlogged locker trapped beneath a fallen beam. Inside, protected by a layer of oilcloth, you find supplies that survived the wreck. Leif moves toward the bodies scattered on the rocks, checking them with a respectful efficiency. He turns away from the first few, their pockets empty, or their gear lost to the sea. But he finds a knife on one and a glint of silver on another.
A sea axe, good steel, and this, silver arm ring, fine work, a warrior's prize.
Riches. You are wealthy now, Thor. A king of driftwood and dead men's trinkets.
The golden light deepens, casting long shadows across the fjord. The wind carries the salt tang of the sea and the faint, metallic smell of the blood trail leading up the rocks nearby.
You and Leif scour the wreckage until nothing of value remains hidden under the splintered timbers or tangled seaweed. From the ship's stores, you salvage a leather satchel, a heavy coil of ship's rope, and a torn section of sail canvas. A broken oar serves as a crude walking staff or club. You find a stash of wet furs soaked through, but serviceable if dried, and a sealed mead flask that survived the storm intact.
That is the last of it. The ship has given all she can. Now we decide where the road leads.
Leif secures his sea axe and looks around. The golden light is fading rapidly, the shadows stretching long and thin across the rocks. To the south, the path slopes down toward the beach on the open sea. To the east, the dark forest looms, its trees dense and forbidding. Northward, the coast climbs toward high cliffs. The trail of dried blood leading up the rocks nearby remains unexplored, ending at a motionless shape above the tide line.
Choices. Choices. The sand, the trees, or the heights. Or you could poke the dead thing and see what killed it.
The path upward is steep, a scramble over loose scree and wind-blasted scrub. Leif follows close behind, his breath hitching in the thinning air. As you crest the final ridge, the ground levels out into a rocky, wind-scoured plateau. The view opens up with violent suddenness. The land falls away on three sides, a sheer drop to the churning gray ocean hundreds of feet below. To the west, the sky burns through salmon and violet, the last light of day catching the crimson edges of the waves. The wind here is a constant howl, cutting through your layers with a knife's edge.
By Thor's hammer, that is a long way down. One slip and a man has time to regret it before he hits the water.
Or he hits the rocks first. Either way, the result is the same. Flat. Look there, in the shadow of that rock.
Hugin hops to a jagged outcropping near the cliff's edge. Below him, partially hidden by an overhang of stone, is a dark opening, a burrow dug into the earth. The smell wafting from it is unmistakable. Old death and dried blood. Inside the shadows, you can see the jumble of bones. Some are small, birds or rabbits. Others are unmistakably human.
Bones. This is a lair. Something sleeps here, or eats here.
The wind gusts harder, rattling the pebbles at your feet. To the south, the path you climbed up winds back down toward the low fjords and the beach beyond. To the east, the terrain descends into a dense thicket of spruce and birch, the North Forest. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the shadows on the plateau begin to lengthen, stretching toward the burrow like grasping fingers.
A fine place to camp. Shall we poke the bones, or shall we freeze in the wind while you decide?
You step into the shadow of the overhang, the wind dying slightly here, but the smell of rot thickening. The bones are scattered across the floor of the burrow, white and yellowed in the dim light. You prod a human rib with the tip of your boot. It rolls aside with a dry clatter, revealing a half-buried skull staring blindly at the stone ceiling.
Thor's hammer. You are standing on it, fool. The earth is his anvil, the sky his forge. Did you expect to find it wrapped in a cloth behind a rock?
Do not touch the dead, my lord. It is unclean. Let them rest. Whatever killed them might still be near.
Leaf hangs back at the entrance, his hand resting on the hilt of his sea axe, his eyes darting between the dark burrow and the open plateau. The last light of the sun fades, leaving the sky a bruised purple. The wind howls, cutting through the silence.
The dead do not mind. They have no complaints left. But the living have many.
The wind howls across the plateau, stripping the last warmth from the air as the sky deepens from bruised purple to charcoal. The burrow gapes behind you, a mouthful of old bones, while the ocean roars its endless hunger far below. To the east, the land slopes down into a dense wall of spruce and birch, the North Forest, already swallowing the light. To the south, the path winds back toward the low fjords and the beach where the dead ship lies.
The sun is gone, my lord. The dark brings teeth. We should choose a path, not stand here waiting to be dinner.
The trees or the rocks? The forest hides things. The cliffs just let you fall.
Leaf shifts his weight, his hand tight on his sea axe. The cold is settling in, a heavy weight in your joints. You need shelter, or fire, or both. You turn north, toward the edge where the land simply ends. The wind screams here, tearing at your clothes, trying to push you over the brink. The ground under your boots turns from solid rock to loose scree that skitters away into the void.
No! Stop! There is nothing there but death!
Leaf lunges forward, grabbing your arm with desperate strength. He pulls you back from the edge, his face pale in the fading light. You look down anyway. It is a long, long way to the churning gray water. Rocks jut from the surf like broken teeth.
A bold strategy. Do you plan to fly, or just fall very fast? The water is cold enough to stop a heart in 3 breaths.
The path to the east leads down into the darkening forest. To the south, the trail winds back toward the low fjords. Behind you, the burrow of bones sits silent in the shadow of the rock.
Please, my lord, do not look at the sea. Look at the land. We must find shelter before the dark takes us.
The wind howls across the plateau, stripping the last warmth from the air as the sky deepens from bruised purple to charcoal. You look at Leaf, the words tumbling out before you can stop them.
Who am I? Where are we? You are Odd, son of Ivar, a raider of Thorfinn's Hall, and we are standing on the edge of the world, freezing to death.
A simple question for a simple mind. Or perhaps a mind that is simply empty. Shall I draw you a map in the snow?
Leaf pulls his furs tighter, his eyes scanning the darkening plateau. The burrow of bones sits silent behind you. To the east, the forest descends into shadow. To the south, the path winds back toward the wreckage.
We cannot stay here. The wind will kill us before the wolves do. Which way, my lord?
You turn toward the west, where the land shears off into the void. The wind screams from that direction, carrying the salt spray of the churning gray ocean hundreds of feet below.
What about west? Leaf, what is your advice? West? That is the sea, my lord. The end of the world. If you walk west, you fly for a moment. Then you drown.
Walking on water now? A true miracle. The waves will be very impressed before they pull you under.
Leaf steps up beside you, peering over the edge but quickly pulling back. He points to the south, where the path winds down toward the wreckage and the beach beyond. Then he gestures east, where the dense wall of spruce and birch descends into the growing shadows.
South leads back to the ship. We know what is there, Wood. Maybe shelter. But the dead. East is the forest. Dark, thick, and hiding things. Which path do you choose, my lord?
Descent is easier than the climb, the path winding down through loose scree and wind-blasted scrub. As you reach the bottom, the landscape opens up into the low fjords. The sky is a bruised purple, the last light bleeding away into the gray Atlantic. The broken Drakkar lies smashed against the black rocks. Its dragonhead prow splintered, hull ripped open. Bodies litter the shore, pale shapes washed up by the storm. A trail of dried blood leads up the rocks to a motionless shape above the tide line.
Back to the dead ship. The wind is less cruel here, at least.
Dusk. The time between wolf and man. Look at that blood trail. Something crawled up there to die.
The air smells of salt, rot, and old iron. To the south, the path slopes down toward the beach and the open sea. To the east, a narrow, steep path cuts into the dark forest. North leads back up the cliffs you just left.
We have wood from the wreck. Rope. Maybe we can make a shelter here, away from the water. Or we follow that blood trail. See what killed him.
You set to work, the cold nipping at your fingers as you assemble a windbreak against a cluster of black rocks. Leif helps, his movements efficient despite his lingering stiffness. You lash the broken oar to two upright spars, draping the torn sail over the frame to create a sloping roof. The ship's rope secures it tight against the gusting wind. It is crude, but it will hold the heat of a small fire and keep the worst of the wind at bay.
It will do. Not a hull, but a roof. The fire will warm us while we work.
You gather driftwood and splintered planks from the wreck, piling them inside the shelter. A few strikes of the flint send sparks flying, and soon a small fire crackles, pushing back the encroaching dark. The wet furs are spread near the blaze to dry. With the shelter established, you turn your attention to the trail of dried blood leading up the rocks.
A cozy little tomb. Now, let us see what crawled away to die.
You and Leif climb the rocky slope, the firelight fading behind you. The blood trail is stark against the gray stone, a smear of rust leading upward. At the top, on a flat expanse of rock, lies the body. It is a Viking, or what is left of one. The head is gone, severed cleanly. The chest is torn open, ribs splayed like a grotesque flower. The left leg is missing below the knee. The wounds are savage, too powerful for any wolf or bear.
By the gods! What could do this? No beast I know leaves marks like this.
Something hungry, something strong, and something that does not like to leave witnesses.
The wind howls across the exposed rock, carrying the metallic tang of blood. The darkness feels heavier here, as if the shadows are watching. The path back to your shelter is visible below, a faint glimmer of firelight in the gloom. You keep low as you descend the rocky slope, scanning the shadows behind you. The wind cuts through the gap in the rocks, but the firelight ahead is a promise of warmth. Leif follows close, his hand resting on the hilt of his sea axe, eyes darting to the darkening tree line.
Time traveler? You speak of walking across years as if they were miles. The cold has touched your mind, Odd, but the blow to your head was worse than we thought.
2,000 years. That is a long walk. And look where you ended up. Cold, wet, and talking to a bird. Was the future worth the trip?
You reach the shelter, the sail flapping in the gust. The fire crackles inside, pushing back the chill. The wet furs are steaming near the heat. Leif settles by the flames, rubbing his hands together, his expression a mix of worry and confusion.
I do not know what future means. But if you are from there, then tell me, do we win? Do we go home?
A dangerous question, Scout. The future is a riddle even the Allfather cannot read.
then we are already dead. But a man does not stop walking just because the road ends. Not while he still has breath.
Win. A strange word for a raider. We take. We burn. We die. Winning is for the skalds to sing about after the bodies are cold.
The fire pops, sending a shower of sparks up the smoke hole. The wind outside moans, a low, constant sound like a beast breathing against the sail. Leaf stares into the flames, his face hollowed by the flickering light.
We should rest. The night is long, and the dark. It feels heavy here. What do we do when the sun comes back, Odd?
The firelight dances on the sail walls, casting long, flickering shadows. Outside, the wind moans through the wreckage, a constant reminder of the cold death waiting beyond your little shelter.
Colonize. 2 men, a knife, and a broken oar against an island of wolves and ice. We are not settlers, Odd. We are meat, waiting to be eaten.
A bold vision. Build a hall, plant crops, die of frostbite before the harvest. Why conquer when you can simply survive the night?
Leaf pokes the fire with a stick, sending up a shower of sparks. He looks tired, the adrenaline of the wreck fading into the deep weariness of survival.
If we explore, we do it carefully. The forest to the east, it felt wrong. The beach to the south might have food, but no cover. What is your plan, Raider? Do we sleep, or do we walk into the dark?
Sleep means dreaming. Walking means dying. Choose your poison, time traveler.
You lie down on the hard-packed earth, pulling the steaming furs over your body. The fire crackles, a small, defiant orange eye in the gathering dark. Leaf settles opposite you, his back against the rock wall, sea axe across his knees. The wind outside moans, a low, constant sound, like a beast breathing against the sail. Your eyes grow heavy. The image of the mangled Viking flashes behind your eyelids, then fades into the warmth of the fire. Time slips away. The fire dies down to glowing embers. When you open your eyes, the world has changed. The purple bruise of dusk is gone, replaced by the stark silver of moonrise. Cold light floods through the gap in the sail, painting the shelter in shades of gray and black. The wind is sharper now, cutting through the wool.
Sleep well, time traveler. Did you count your sheep? I counted wolves. 3 of them, howling in the forest.
Hugin perches on the frame of the shelter, his feathers blacker than the shadows around him. He tilts his head, obsidian eyes fixed on you. Leif stirs, rubbing sleep from his eyes, and immediately reaches to stoke the embers back to life.
The fire is low. We need more wood if we want to see the dawn.
The shelter is cold, but the embers catch. Outside, the moon hangs heavy over the fjord, illuminating the wreckage of the Drakkar and the dark path leading east into the forest. The blood trail on the rocks above glistens wetly in the pale light.
The night is young. What does a man from the future do when the past comes hungry?
kick through the driftwood and seaweed tangled around the black rocks, searching for anything edible. The frost has hardened the ground, and the only things growing here are patches of gray lichen and tough, scrubby bushes that offer nothing but bitter leaves. The bodies nearby have been stripped of anything useful long ago.
Fruit? In this? You are more likely to find a gold coin in a dead man's eye than a berry on this rock.
Leaf scans the shoreline, shaking his head. The wind cuts through your furs as you turn up nothing but cold stone and rotting kelp.
Nothing here but rocks and dead men. The beach to the south. Crabs sometimes get trapped in the pools. Or the forest might have roots. Maybe even late berries. But the forest is dark.
Choose quickly, time traveler. The stomach does not care about danger when it is empty.
The path leads you away from the shelter and the dead ship, winding down toward the southern shore. The air grows colder as you descend, carrying the sharp tang of salt and rotting kelp. You step onto the beach, but it is not the same shore you left behind. The sky above is a deep, bruised crimson, casting a rust-red glow over the sand and black rocks. The shadows stretch long and twisted, like grasping fingers. The waves lap at the shore with a slow, rhythmic sucking sound, darker than blood under the heavy moon.
The light. It is wrong. Like the sky is bleeding. Keep your eyes open, Odd. This place feels hungry.
The beach is a mix of dark sand and slick, wet rocks. Tidal pools gleam like dark mirrors, reflecting the red moon. Seabirds perch on the driftwood piles, their eyes watching you silently. To the west, the ocean stretches out into the endless dark. To the east, a path leads back toward the forest. Further south, the beach curves around a rocky point.
Blood moon. The time when the wolf walks as a man, or the man tears out the wolf's throat. Either way, there will be blood.
Look there, in the pools. Crabs. Frozen, but meat is meat. And there might be shellfish under the rocks.
Leif points toward a cluster of tidal pools where dark shapes move sluggishly in the freezing water. The wind bites at your exposed skin, and the red light makes the foam on the waves look like froth from a wound.
A feast fit for a king, if the king likes cold slime and cracking shells.
You wade into the freezing tidal pools, the red moon reflecting in the dark water like a wound. Your fingers go numb as you snatch the sluggish crabs from between the rocks, their claws clicking weakly against your skin. Leaf helps, gathering driftwood from the high tide line while you crack the shells open on a flat stone. A small fire is soon crackling in the shelter of a windbreak, the flames casting long, dancing shadows across the sand.
You impale the crab meat on sharpened sticks and hold them over the heat, the smell of cooking seafood mixing with the salt air. The meat turns pink and steaming in the cold night.
Hot food! It tastes better than a feast in the Jarl's Hall when you were starving.
A king's meal. Enjoy it, time traveler. The crabs certainly did not.
You eat quickly, the hot meat stinging your tongue and warming your belly. The red light of the blood moon hangs heavy over the ocean, painting the waves in shades of rust and black. The wind howls through the rocks, but for a moment, the cold feels less like a death sentence and more like just another enemy. You select a sturdy length of driftwood, weathered and hardened by the sea. Using your sea axe, you strip the bark and shave one end into a rough point, then harden the tip in the fire until it chars black. Leaf watches, then finds his own piece of wood, working with practiced efficiency to fashion a shorter javelin.
Better than a fist. If the wolves come, they will think twice before biting.
A pointy stick. Truly, the weapon of kings. Let us hope the beast is afraid of splinters.
You sit by the fire, drawing the sharpened stone along the tip of your driftwood spear. The wood is green and tough, resisting the edge. Until the point is hard and sharp enough to pierce thick hide. You hold it in the firelight, testing the balance. It is crude, but it will bite.
I have my sea axe, and this javelin. It will keep a wolf at bay, if we are lucky.
A sharp stick and a knife. The beast must be trembling in its lair.
Leaf hefts his short spear, giving it a practice throw. It thuds into the sand a few paces away. The red moon hangs heavy over the water, casting long, bloody shadows across the beach. The wind carries the distant howl of a wolf, closer than before.
They are moving. We should not stay here in the open. The fire draws eyes.
The night is full of teeth. Where does the time traveler run to next?
The red moon hangs heavy over the water, casting long, bloody shadows across the sand. The wind howls through the rocks, carrying the distant howl of wolves closer than before. The fire crackles, a small island of light in the gathering dark, but the beach offers no real cover,
Only open sand and black rocks stretching into the night.
This fire is a beacon. Anything hunting will see it. We need walls, a roof, or we keep moving and find a place that does not feel like a grave.
Sleep here? Bold. The crabs will pick your bones clean before the wolves even arrive.
The forest has trees. The cliffs have caves. The beach has only death.
Leaf scans the darkness, his hand tightening on his spear. The path back to the low fjords winds north, a steep climb to the wreckage and the shelter you built earlier. To the east, the dark forest looms, silent and waiting. Further south, the beach curves around a rocky point, ending in a dead end.
We could go back to the shelter at the fjords. It is crude, but it has walls. Or we risk the forest. What do you say, Odd? Do we run, or do we hide?
The path from the beach, the sand giving way to loose scree and black rock. The low fjords spread out before you under the bleeding light of the moon, a landscape of rust-red shadows and pale frost. The wind cuts sharper here, unbroken by the dunes, carrying the salt tang of the sea and the copper smell of old blood. The wreckage of the Drakkar lies shattered on the shore below, a skeleton of dark timber against the gray foam. Above, on the flat ground near the cliff edge, the crude shelter you built earlier huddles against the window lean-to of driftwood and torn sail, looking frail under the vast, uncaring sky.
We made it back. The shelter, it is still standing. But the blood, it looks fresh in this light.
Leaf points to the trail of blood leading up from the shore. Dark, glistening streaks on the stone that end at the mangled body you found earlier. The corpse lies exactly as you left it, torn open and headless, a grim monument in the red moonlight.
Home sweet home. Nothing says welcome like a dead man with his chest ripped open. At least he is quiet company.
Leif moves toward the shelter, checking the perimeter with his spear. He kicks a few stones aside, his eyes darting to the dark forest edge to the east and the high cliffs to the north.
The fire is dead. Cold ash. We should light it again. Warmth. Light. Do we check the body first, or do we hide?
You approach the corpse, the red moonlight painting the exposed ribs in hues of dried rust and fresh gore. The head is gone, severed not by a clean blade, but by tearing force, leaving ragged flaps of skin and muscle at the neck. The chest cavity is yanked open, ribs snapped like dry twigs, the heart and lungs missing. The left leg is torn away below the knee, the bone showing white and splintered through the meat.
By Thor! This is not a wolf! Wolves tear to eat! This is rage! Look at the arms! Defensive wounds! He fought!
Or he just had very sharp elbows. Notice the size of the bite marks, Ord. Whatever took that head has a mouth wider than a man's torso.
Leaf crouches beside the body, using his spear tip to lift a flap of blood-soaked wool. He points to the deep gouges in the dead man's forearms, where the bone is scored through.
He was a warrior. He died facing it. But look, no weapon. Did he lose it, or was he taken unawares?
The wind gusts suddenly, carrying a thick, coppery smell from the exposed chest. The fire in the shelter nearby sputters, the flames dipping low, as if something draws the breath from the air.
Check his belt, Strandwalker. The dead have no use for silver or steel, unless you think you'll need it in Valhalla.
The body wears a heavy leather belt, stained dark. A pouch hangs from it, bulging slightly. The torn clothes might offer scraps of cloth, but the wet furs you already have are likely warmer. You untie the leather pouch from the dead man's belt, the flap stiff with dried blood. Inside, your fingers brush against cold metal and a small, hard object.
What is it? Coin? A charm?
You pull out a single silver coin, a foreign minting, perhaps from the raids, and a smooth polished stone of dark gray slate, worn smooth by years of handling.
A rock and a penny. This man died wealthy. Perhaps the stone was for luck. It did not save him.
He carried a memory. Something to hold on to. We should take it. The dead have no need of pockets.
The wind howls through the fjord, carrying the distant guttural roar of something vast and angry. The sound echoes off the cliffs, making it impossible to tell which direction it came from.
That sound. It is closer. We need to move. Now.
The wolf is hungry, Ord. Do we hide in the shelter and pray, or run into the dark?
You grab Leif by the arm and drag him toward the crude lean-to, diving under the torn sail just as the roar echoes again. Closer now. The wind whips through the gaps in the driftwood walls, carrying the heavy copper stench of fresh blood and wet fur. You huddle in the darkness, pressing your back against the cold earth, clutching your spear. Leif lies beside you, his eyes wide and staring at the flap of cloth that serves as a door, his knuckles white on his javelin.
It is here. I can hear it breathing.
Quiet, thoughtless one. If it smells fear, it eats first. If it hears you, it plays with its food.
Heavy footsteps thud against the rocky ground outside, slow and deliberate. The earth shakes slightly with each impact. A low, wet snort sounds just beyond the sail, followed by the scrape of claws on stone. The red moonlight filters through the gaps, casting jagged shadows that dance like demons on the walls.
Hold your breath. Can you feel its eyes? It is looking for the heartbeat that runs too fast.
You press yourself into the frozen earth, slowing your breath until it is shallower than the dead man's beside you. The red moonlight through the sail's gaps casts bloody stripes across your face. The heavy footsteps stop right outside the shelter. You can hear the wet, rattling inhale and exhale of a beast the size of a bear, sniffing the air where you stood moments ago. A massive shadow blocks the light, and a single claw, thick as a sea axe blade, hooks under the edge of the driftwood, lifting it slightly. You do not move. You do not breathe. The beast snorts, a sound like rocks grinding in mud, and drops the wood. The footsteps recede, heavy and slow, heading away toward the cliffs.
It is gone. For now. You held your breath like a stone in a river, Strandwalker. The wolf walked past and did not see the sheep.
It did not smell us. Luck. Pure luck. My heart is beating so hard I can hear it in my ears.
The red moon hangs lower over the ocean, the wind dying down to a whisper. The silence returns, but the air still smells of wet fur and ancient hunger. Leaf lets out a long, shaky breath, wiping sweat from his forehead despite the cold.
We cannot stay here. It knows this place now. If it comes back, we need to be gone. Where do we go on?
Leaf and bolt from the shelter, heading east toward the dark line of trees. The moment you break cover, a roar erupts from the cliffs behind you closer, louder. The beast has seen you run.
It is coming! Run on! Run!
You sprint across the rocky ground, your boots slipping on frost-scattered stones. The path to the forest is steep and narrow, a jagged scar cutting down into the darkness. Behind you, heavy footsteps pound the earth, fast and gaining. The sound of crashing brush and snapping trees fills the air as the beast smashes through the obstacles between you.
Faster, time traveler! The wolf does not like its prey to leave the table!
Catch on a hidden root, sending you sprawling onto the sharp rocks. Before you can scramble up, a massive shadow eclipses the red moon. The beast is on huge matted fur reeking of slaughter, eyes burning like embers in the night. It ignores you for a heartbeat, snapping its jaws at Leif, who has turned to face it with his puny spear.
Hey you! Run!
The beast swipes with a clawed hand the size of a shield, batting Leif aside like a rag doll. He flies into the darkness, crashing into the rocks with a sickening crunch. The creature turns its attention to you, snorting steam into the cold air. You scramble backward, but its jaws clamp onto your left leg, teeth sinking through wool and flesh. Pain explodes up your side, hot and blinding. You kick with your free leg, your heel connecting with the beast's snout. It recoils with a yelp, shaking its massive head, giving you a moment's respite. The red moonlight gleams on its dark fur as it circles you, preparing for another strike.
Get up! It tastes your blood now! Fight or die!
Leif lies motionless in the shadows, his body twisted at an unnatural angle. The beast crouches low, muscles bunching under its matted coat, ready to spring. grip your spear, your breath coming in ragged gasps, the warm blood soaking your trousers.
The spear, Ord, or the axe. Make it count.
You grip the driftwood spear in your left hand and the heavy hand axe in your right, the iron head cold against your palm. The beast crouches before you, a mountain of matted fur and muscle, its eyes burning like embers in the blood-red light. It snorts, a cloud of steam rising from its jaws, and then it springs. You meet the charge with a roar of your own, thrusting the spear forward with all your strength. The sharpened wood glances off its shoulder, burying itself in the thick fur but failing to find flesh. The impact jars your arm, numbing it to the bone. As the creature's jaws snap inches from your face, smelling of rot and old blood, you swing the axe in a wide arc, aiming for its neck.
Strike true, Ord, or this is the last thing you ever see.
The axe connects, a solid thud against the beast's skull. It howls a sound like tearing metal and staggers back, shaking its massive head. But it does not fall. It recovers instantly, faster than anything that size has a right to move, and swipes at you with a clawed hand. You duck, feeling the wind of its passage, and scramble to keep your footing on the bloody rocks. The beast shakes off the axe blow, as if it were no more than a fly's bite. With a snarl that vibrates in your chest, it lunges. You thrust the spear again, desperate to keep it back. But the creature catches the shaft in its jaws. A sickening crack echoes as it snaps the hard wood like a dry twig. The useless halves fall from your hands.
The spear is gone. Move, Ord, move!
Before you can raise the axe, a massive paw strikes you. The impact lifts you off the ground, hurling you backward. You slam into the rocky earth, the air driven from your lungs in a wheezing gasp. Pain explodes across your chest ribs, grinding against each other, sharp and hot. The beast looms over you, a mountain of fur and muscle blotting out the red moon. Its hot, foul breath washes over your face, smelling of raw meat and old graves.
It is toying with you! Get up. Die on your feet, not on your knees.
The beast lowers its head, its burning eyes locking onto yours. It opens its jaws, rows of yellowed teeth glistening in the moonlight. It lets out a low, rumbling growl that shakes the ground beneath you. It does not strike yet. It waits, watching you struggle to breathe, savoring the moment before the kill.
Well, time traveler, the end of the road. Do you beg or do you bite?
You let the axe slip from your fingers, clattering onto the bloody stones, and drop to your knees, head bowed. You raise your hands in supplication, your voice cracking as you plead for mercy, for your life, for anything that will make the nightmare stop.
On your knees, Raider. The wolf respects strength, not whimers, but it bought you a heartbeat.
The beast tilts its massive head, the burning eyes narrowing. It leans closer, the hot stench of its breath washing over you, and lets out a low, rumbling huff that vibrates in your marrow. It believes you broken. It opens its jaws, ready to tear out your throat.
Now, ED, the axe, make it count.
Your hand shoots out, fingers closing around the axe handle. With a roar that tears at your bruised ribs, you swing upward with everything you have left, aiming for the soft flesh of its throat as it descends. The iron head bites deep, sinking into the soft flesh beneath the beast's jaw. Dark blood sprays across your face, hot and foul, as the creature howls a sound of shock and rage that vibrates in your broken ribs. You tear the axe free, stumbling back, watching for the fall. But the beast does not fall. The wound knits together even as you watch, flesh crawling like maggots, skin sealing over the gash until only a thin white line remains. It shakes its massive head, snorting steam, and turns its burning eyes back to you.
Iron will not kill it, Ord. It heals like the wind heals waves. Run!
Leaf lies crumpled against the rocks, his neck twisted at an impossible angle, his sightless eyes reflecting the red moon. He is gone. The beast roars, a sound of triumph and hunger, and crouches to spring again.
Forest. The trees. Go, before it closes its jaws.
The beast bunches its muscles, ready to pounce. You have a heartbeat, maybe two, before it is on you. The path to the east leads into the dark embrace of the trees. The path to the south leads back to the open beach. The path to the north climbs to the high cliffs. Turn and sprint toward the dark line of trees to the east, your boots hammering the rocky ground. Pain screams from your mauled leg with every step, but adrenaline floods your veins, dulling the agony into a distant throb. Behind you, the beast roars. A sound of earth and fury, and the heavy pounding of its paws shakes the ground as it gives chase.
Do not look back! The trees are your only chance! Run!
The path is steep and uneven, a jagged scar cutting down into the darkness. You slip on a patch of frost-scattered stones, nearly falling, but you catch yourself and keep moving. The forest looms closer, a wall of black trunks and shadowed branches. The beast is gaining. You can hear its wet, rattling breath just yards behind you.
Faster, Ord! It is right on your heels! Make it to the shadows!
catches on a loose stone, sending you sprawling face first onto the jagged path. Before you can scramble up, a massive weight slams into your back, driving you into the earth with bone-crushing force. The air is driven from your lungs in a wet, wheezing gasp. Hot, foul breath washes over your neck as the beast pins you down, its claws digging into your shoulders to hold you fast.
It has you. The wolf has its teeth in your throat. Do something!
The red moonlight gleams on the matted fur inches from your face. The beast growls, a low rumble that vibrates through your chest and shifts its weight. You can feel the heat of its body, the terrible strength coiled in its muscles. It raises one massive paw, claws extended, ready to strike.
The axe, Ord, the silver, or do you die here in the dirt?
Grip the axe handle with both hands, your knuckles white against the dark wood. The beast's weight crushes you into the sharp stones, its hot breath fouling the air. With a roar that tears at your bruised ribs, you swing upward, aiming for the throat, the eye, anything soft enough to bleed.
Strike true, Ord! Make it count!
The iron head connects with the beast's shoulder, sinking deep into the matted fur and muscle. Dark blood sprays, hot and steaming in the cold air. The creature howls, a sound of rage and pain, and its grip loosens for a heartbeat. The axe bites deep, but the beast does not flinch. With a snarl that vibrates in your marrow, it shakes its massive head, tearing the weapon from your grip and sending it skittering across the stones. Before you can scream, its other paw descends, a blur of claws and fury that rakes across your chest. The impact lifts you from the ground, ribs snapping like dry twigs under the force. You slam back into the earth, breathless and broken, your vision swimming in a haze of red agony. The beast looms over you, a mountain of matted fur and muscle blotting out the bleeding moon. Its burning eyes lock onto yours, and it opens its jaws, rows of yellow teeth glistening in the dark. Hot, foul breath washes over your face, smelling of raw meat and old graves. It raises one massive paw, claws extended, ready to deliver the final blow.
The iron fails, Ord! It heals faster than you can wound. The silver, the arm ring. Use it or die.
The beast's paw descends, but it pauses for a heartbeat, sniffing the air. Your blood pools beneath you, steaming in the cold. The creature seems to savor the moment, its eyes burning with ancient hunger. You have one chance, one desperate strike, before it tears your throat out. Closes around the silver arm ring in your pouch, the cold metal biting into your palm. With a roar that tears at your shattered ribs, you lash out with everything you have left. driving the twisted band of silver toward the beast's eye. The creature snarls, its massive paw descending to crush your skull, but your desperate strike is faster.
Silver! The old metal bites. Will it be enough?
The silver armoring connects with the beast's face, sinking deep into the flesh beside its burning eye. Dark blood hisses where the metal touches it, steam rising in thick, foul clouds. The beast howls, not a roar of triumph, but a shriek of pure agony. It recoils violently, its grip on your shoulders loosening as it thrashes in the dirt, clawing at its own face to dislodge the burning silver.
It bleeds! It actually bleeds! Now run, Odd, while it's blind!
The silver hisses, sinking into the beast's cheek, and for a heartbeat, the creature recoils, shrieking as the foul smoke curls from its flesh. But the wound does not hold. The flesh knits together even as you watch, pushing the twisted metal out with a wet, sucking sound. The beast's burning eyes snap back to you, no longer blinded, only enraged. It shakes its massive head, flinging droplets of dark blood and silver armoring into the dirt.
No! It's healing! It's already healing! The silver... it wasn't enough.
Before you can scramble backward, the beast's massive paw descends like a falling mountain. It catches you square in the chest, lifting you from the ground as ribs snap under the weight. You slam into the earth, breath driven from your lungs in a bloody froth. The creature looms over you, a silhouette of death against the bleeding moon, and raises its other paw, claws gleaming in the red light. The blow falls. Your vision explodes in a flash of white agony, then fades to a dim gray haze. The cold ground presses against your back, but you can barely feel it. Your breath comes in shallow, wet gasps, each one a struggle. The beast stands above you, its hot breath washing over your face, waiting. You are broken, bleeding out onto the frost-scattered stones, and the darkness is closing in. Your vision swims in a red haze, but the wolf's shape burns against the bleeding moon. You thrash in the dirt, fingers clawing at the fur, your good leg driving up into its belly, with the last strength in your muscles. Your hand finds a loose stone, sharp and cold, and you smash it against the creature's snout, feeling bone give way under the blow.
Fight, Aud! Don't let it end in the mud!
The beast snarls, shaking its head as blood trickles from its nose. It raises a paw, claws gleaming, to crush your resistance once and for all. You have one heartbeat left to make it count.
The stone shatters against the beast's snout, a futile gesture against the mountain of fur and rage descending upon you. The massive paw connects with your skull, and the world explodes in a flash of white-hot agony. Bone snaps like dry kindling, and the impact drives you into the frost-scattered earth, crushing the last breath from your lungs. The red moon above blurs into a smear of blood and shadow, fades to gray.
The thought is silent, Horde. Memory is gone. Valhalla waits, or perhaps nothing does.
The beast's jaws close around your throat, tearing through flesh and vein in a single, brutal motion. Hot blood floods your mouth, metallic and thick, as the darkness rushes in to claim you. The cold ground beneath you fades, the pain receding into a distant, dull throb, before vanishing entirely. The last sound you hear is the crunch of bone and the triumphant roar of the wolf under the bleeding moon. Jaws snapped shut, bone crunched. The blood on the stones was hot, steaming in the cold air. But Odd felt nothing. The red moon blurred, then faded. The Varulfur fed, and the trial ended in blood.
Fenrir's child is fed. The island keeps what Odin sends it.
The snow will cover the bones by morning. The beast still guards the passage. Munin waits on the mainland, watching an ice bridge no one will cross. Nothing changed. The wind howls over the empty cliffs, indifferent as the grave. Stranded, not a place, a fate.